Hey everyone! Welcome to the 10K in 30-day sales masterclass training webinar. I'm Vanessa Simpkins from takeyourpowerbacknow.com, coming to you live from Kauai, Hawaii. And over the next 60 minutes or so, you're going to hear some very specific tools as well as structure that I've been fortunate enough to learn, develop, and implement myself, and also for my clients. And what that's meant for people is really an unprecedented amount of clarity, of confidence, and cash flow, and following that real freedom. Freedom to travel, take your business with you anywhere in the world. And what that's also meant is also a really deep feeling of fulfillment from really being able to show up and live your purpose and really walk your talk. Really that feeling of being on your path. So we've got a lot to cover. It looks like we've got some people here in the webinar room. We've got still some people coming on. So let's just do a quick little sound check to make sure everyone can hear me and see me. If you guys can give me a quick little, pop a little message there in the Q&A on the right. We'll just do a quick little test. This is the encore training. So we did one before. Today I've got a secure Wi-Fi enable chat box. I gotta click that. Okay. So let me just know, guys, that you can hear me and see me. Really important. Oh, awesome. Okay, great. So here's what's going to happen tonight. You guys are all going to have access to a very specific recipe called my sales attraction system that is guaranteed to generate 10K in 30 days or more. And I'm actually being very moderate with this because many of my clients do much more than that. So for example, in the Facebook group, I run a 10K in 30-day program with entrepreneurs, a lot of coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, trainers, healers. And a note that one of the ladies posted says, hey, all, I'm here with a celebration. I just signed up to work with Vanessa around mid-October when I was feeling very stuck and unmotivated about my business. It was such a big decision to invest money in my business and myself, as I know it has been for many people in this group. However, I just signed a new deal for $37,000. Boom. So once you have this recipe that I'm going to teach you tonight, the sky is really the limit, guys. And what this allows you to do is really get your services out there in the world in a big way, impact people in a big way, but also impact your bank account, right? And I'm also going to show you how this can boost your confidence. This is called the Sales Masterclass training for a reason. And I don't care really what kind of business you're in. Nothing happens until the sale is made, right? If you're a transformational coach, if you're a healer, I often use this example. If you want to go to India and meet the Dalai Lama and have this big, healing experience, well, nothing happens until you buy the plane ticket, right? So sales is really what you want to focus on. It's oftentimes the number one things that entrepreneurs avoid like the plague. So if you're gun shy with sales, you've got some blocks in this department, you have some issues with, you're really going to love this training. If you've been looking for a way to attract new clients and get some real clarity about your message, your branding, your offers, you'll also get a lot out of tonight's training. And in my experience, this is where entrepreneurs have the biggest hangups, right? We're selling ourselves, our services, there's self-worth in there, there's all kinds of sticky things. So we're also going to talk about mindset, really important today. And how do you present yourself in a way that, how do you present yourself in a way that shows people you're an expert? How do you engage them into your offers? So specifically, what I want to share with you, this is what I promised you guys here on tonight's webinar, is I want to share with you 3 of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make with their offers that leave thousands of dollars on the table and exactly what to do about it. I'll show you 2 of my proven methods for generating ideal leads and converting conversations into cash flow, as well as one little mindset tweak. If you just implement this one thing, it will dramatically explode your results. I don't care how much fear, confusion, self-doubt, worry, all of that stuff has been taking you out of the game. If you just apply this one theory, this one mindset tweak, it will explode your results. And I'm also going to share with you a bunch of nuggets here to do with mindset. Awesome. Everyone's got a thumbs up. You can all hear me. Sweet. Okay, good deal. I'm also going to share with you basically everything I can in the next hour. So I talk really fast. Please, please, please turn off all of your kind of equipment, your gear, if you've got a cell phone on. Really give yourself the time to show up and be present. And I really want to start this off by you know, encouraging you, inviting you to give yourself a pat on the back, because success is 90% just showing up. And you guys carve this time out here to be on the call on this webinar with me live. And I want to thank you for that. So stick around to the end. I will be giving away $2,000 worth of cash prizes here for those of you that showed up live, because I'm so, I really want to support you and encourage you for taking action and for showing up live. It's so important, because showing up is 90% of success. So pat yourself on the back. Congratulations for being here. Stick through to the end and really give yourself the space, turn off your cell phones to take lots of great notes. Grab a coffee or a tea. I'm also going to post to you right now something. If you would help me spread the word that you're on this webinar, I'm going to post right now a little tweet or a Facebook post that you guys can share. I just posted it right now in the group. And if you would do that, I'm going to give you an amazing training that I created. So of course I think it's amazing, but it's how do you use networking to generate leads and sales calls. So I have a lot of my clients ask me all the time, Vanessa, well, like, I don't know what to say at, you know, networking events. I get all kind of bummed up and bungled up when it's time to do my spiel or say my thing. And the networking doesn't really generate for me a lot of clients. So I created an 18-minute video. It's a training just like this. And it's got all the nuggets on how do you actually turn conversations and those connections in networking events into cash flow. So if you help me promote this webinar right now, just grab the link here. It's in the chat. You can copy, paste it, tag my name on Facebook or Twitter, and help me spread the word. It really is my intention to inspire and empower as many entrepreneurs to thrive, to really take their power back and thrive and create a life that you love. So if you help me do that, I will email you over the networking training video. Cool. So thank you for that. All right. Also, I want to thank you guys for asking me questions. Many of you posted your questions to me even before this webinar started, like, how do I grow sales without being pushy? I have no natural affinity to sales, but I'm very personal, so I prefer to influence with a soft approach. I work full time. So how do I balance building my business with a job? Excellent question. We're going to cover that, as well as, how do I handle objections and competitive wheeling and dealing? I love this, guys. If you have questions, please post them in the chat right now, and we will get to those at the end of the webinar today. So if you have any questions at all, post them in the chat. And also, as I'm going through and training today, if you find something that's like, boom, oh my God, that's like Vanessa, like, this is such a golden nugget. What you want to do, thank you guys for tweeting. I'm seeing all these tweets here on my phone. What that's going to do is you can just write down the time, that this golden nugget showed up, so that in the replay you can go back and listen to it again and again. So just jot down any times here in the webinar that you hear something that's like, oh my gosh, I want to hear that again. Awesome. Good deal. So we're going to get started. I would just really love to share with you, I'm going to close this little beeper thing, my story. For many of you who are listening here, I can see by the chat, many of you know me, but some of you don't. So I'll just quickly run through my story and how I got started as a confidence and cash flow expert. I have an amazing life today. I am coming to you live from Kauai, Hawaii. It's beautiful outside today. There's a coconut tree right in front of me. There's a fresh avocado in my basket from a friend's tree. And I have an amazing life. I'm a best-selling author of my first book was called From Bankrupt to $900 a Day Selling Mops. My second book is called Take Your Power Back Now: How to Overcome the Resistance to Creating a Life You Love. It's really the ultimate confidence guide for women, and it's really become a movement. Take Your Power Back Now is a movement. It's kind of blown up. It's the name of my website, the name of my book, and the name of my retreat. I just hosted my first live women's spiritual kind of business building retreat here in Kauai, which was so much fun. And I speak internationally. I coach, I mentor, I train. I've done a TED Talk on success in Montreal. I'm a sought after business coach. And really, some people call me the bikini business coach. I do not sell bikinis, but I can teach you how to rock your lifestyle and live in a bikini if you want to by implementing these systems in your business and really understanding how to master sales. That's where it's at. And right now I'm actually living on a farm in Hawaii with a whole bunch of pigs and horses and dogs and cats. And it was a dream of mine. I used to drive by that house every day, and now I'm living in that house. It's so awesome. So, my business helps me have this lifestyle. For me, it's really important to just be out on the beach in the afternoons, going for hikes. When I'm not working with clients, I'm hiking to waterfalls, camping in really cool places, and I get to design my lifestyle. So important for me. I have the freedom to do that. That's what my business lets me do. And I get to travel. I'll be leaving on Friday for California, so I travel to events, and I really have the freedom to do what I want to do. And that, to me, is priceless. So my life was not always like this. I was, like perhaps many of you, stuck in a dead-end job for many years. I was selling mops, lint removers, ShamWows, all those funny things you see on late night TV, but I was doing them live in-store product demonstrations, and I did that for 4 years, and I traveled across Canada and the States. I lived in Hawaii 6 years ago doing that, and I became very good at it very quickly. And that's really what was my testing ground for this law of attraction and sales and kind of spiritual practices. And I wrote my first book, but then I got stuck in the job. I was making $900, $1,000 a day, and it was killing me. I was crying on my way to work because they owned my ass, right? I for whatever reason, just, could sell the crap out of this mop, but I couldn't sell my own coaching and consulting services, no matter how much I tried. And I dumped a ton of money going after all these trainings and, flying over here and learning with that person. And I just, I was so stuck. And I remember I would cry every day going to work because I would leave this beautiful sanctuary in the woods where I'd live, and I would have to stay in stores for 10 days at a time and travel, and I had no life, and I had a bank account full of money, but I had no life. And it was not my purpose. I knew there was something so much more to my life. And I hosted a telesummit. I interviewed some awesome people on how to overcome resistance, and my income literally blew up. I went from this hobby kind of $600 a month coaching business to over $15,000 a month. I moved to Hawaii and never looked back. And now I get to share and impart what I've learned, in the mindset, spirituality, and sales and marketing department with other entrepreneurs to help them build a real solid foundation so that you can actually take action in your business, right? I love what I do. I feel so blessed. And I'm so blessed that you're here with me today. So if you're a coach or a consultant, and now is really the best time. If you're a healer, I don't care what you are, if you're watching this webinar and you've been feeling this kind of knock, 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 it's time to up level. It's time to really, stop farting around. You're in a great place, and this is the right time for you. Because why do I know that? Because if you weren't attracted, to this call, it wouldn't be the right time for you, right? You have that knock on your heart, I believe, because God puts it there, universe, source, creator, spirit, I don't care what you call it, okay, that force. And allowing that force and really showing up and saying yes to that force, to that call, to that knock, to that inspiration, to that thing that terrifies you, but also really excites you, is really important. Sorry, guys. I must disable Skype. Quit. All right, I'm back. So, for a lot of people that I mentor, it's not really about the money. It's actually more about following their life purpose and showing up and really honoring that and feeling like they're really, walking their talk. So yes, money is a big part of that, but it's really also about showing up and saying yes to that next, version of you that's really calling. And I believe God or spirit, universe really puts that knocking in our heart. So, it's great to be handsomely paid for it too. And I want to share with you all of these nuggets, these juicy, juicy nuggets with you. So I'm really excited. And focusing really on, mastering this process of sales is really, what kicks all of that into high gear and opens those doors to freedom, of course, and the confidence that gets built along the way and the cash flow. So we're really excited to share that with you, because I'm in the camp of, freedom 35. I'm not into this, when I retire, then I will travel. When I'm 60 years old, I got to cut out some coupons and go to the store with my coupons. I can't stand that. I hate it. Not that saving money is a bad thing. I love to save money, but I don't, live my life that way. When I go to a store, I buy whatever I want. I buy organic food, and I love to be able to, invite people into that, abundance and freedom, because it's there for everybody. I'm in the camp of let's live right now, because who knows what's going to happen when I'm 60 or 65 years old. I don't know if I'm going to have these great legs when I'm 60 or 65, right? Who knows what's going to happen? For me, life is today, right here, right now. And that's maybe because I was raised by an artist, right? He was a true entrepreneur. So I'm in the camp of, not I can't afford it or I got to see when. I'm in the camp of let me find out how I can raise that money to do what I want to do. And when you have a system in place like this, it allows you all of that. So I'm the kind of person who likes to, make my own rules and then live by them. And so I can show you how to do the same thing to create your own rules, because you know what? Life is way more fun when you're living it by your own rules. So with that being started, let's get started. I want to talk to you about freedom, cash flow, impact, lifestyle, and of course that feeling of fulfillment that comes from it. And the first thing I want to share with you is the 3 biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make with their offers that leave quite literally thousands of dollars on the table. And really exactly what to do about it. So number one, I'm just going to double check that everything is still working and you're all here. Sweet, everyone's up. Awesome. Yes, yes, yes. All right, thanks guys. So first biggest mistake that I see entrepreneurs make all the time with offers is that they don't make them. Right? Have you ever done that? You've gone to do a workshop or something, or you've spoken at an event, but you never really make an offer. You never really invite people to work with you. And this is really coming from a fear of perfectionism, right? It's like I think entrepreneurs do everything else but focus on making offers, right? You get the website, the business cards, you get everything, you busy yourself, you do all these things, but you never really make any offers. And it's the number one thing. Sales is the number one thing that you need to focus on before anything. Why? Because that's the only thing that's going to generate cash flow. And then once you have the cash flow, you can invest it in your business, you can build systems, you can hire web guys, you can make fancy websites. But really the first thing you need to focus on in your business is the cash flow, is getting clients, is serving them, right? And sales is the number one thing that entrepreneurs avoid like the plague. So I have a story here of one of my clients, Marina, from my group, and she was kind of, shying away from making offers. Encouraged her to post some videos on YouTube making offers, and she had 3,000, I think one of her videos has now 4,000 views on Facebook and an inbox filled with messages from people wanting to do business with her. So that is the power of making offers. And guys, the money that you want out there in the world is literally, it's right here, right now. It's in your world. It's right under your nose. And all it takes is an offer to invite it in. So the number of offers you make, you want to write this down. This is a write or down one. And I'm a simple person, everyone. If you don't know me yet, I'm very spiritual, but I'm also very practical. I'm a Capricorn. Capricorns are, headstrong. We're very driven, ambitious, and we just want to get to the top of the mountain as fast as possible. Where's the shortcut? Where's the route? Get me up there. So everything I share with you is very simple and direct. So, write this down. The number of offers you make to people who can say yes, the number of offers you make to people who can say yes equals your income. So, the number one thing you actually need to focus on even before sales is generating the leads. It's marketing. The number one thing you need to focus on even before the sales, because you can't have any sales until you have leads coming in, is generating leads. It's the marketing, right? It's the being visible and making offers. Because if you don't have enough leads coming in, what happens is you're too tight-fisted and kind of like, oh my God, nervous about if you have this sales call, will it go right? So in sales, especially when you're learning something new, you're going to maybe make a few mistakes and screw up, and that's part of the way it works. And you have to give yourself the space to learn and to do that. And if you have a nice, strong stream of leads coming in, you can basically screw up all day long on the way to getting it right, and it's no big deal. But if you don't have any leads coming in, whatever does come in, you're like, grasping onto that. That creates kind of like a desperation energy and feeling, and your clients will feel that, and they won't want to do business with you. So, am I talking too fast? I just want to check in with you guys because I talk really fast. I want to make sure everyone can hear me, and this is, at the right tempo. You want to make sure that you're generating leads. So what is preventing you from making 10K this month? Here are the common things that I hear from, my clients or potential clients. Number one is the fear of being visible. All right, and let me know if any of this is true for you guys. Just send me a little, post here in the chat. Let me know if any of this makes sense. Oh, Lynn says, hey, I didn't know that you're a Capricorn. Hey, sister. Awesome, chica. So, okay, fear of being visible, fear of being a fraud. Or do you ever tell yourself, I'm not ready yet, or I'm not good enough yet, I just need to take one more course, right? I've got too much stuff swimming around in my head and I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to actually implement, or I don't know how to offer it. There's so much there. So, do you have this learning without ever earning mode? Just take another course, take another course. I was there. I'll be like, unveil the mask here. I actually spent over $100,000 in my business learning without ever earning before I ever had any paying clients. So I'll be the first one to raise my hand and say, I've been there. Also, not having a clear message, not knowing what to sell or how to talk about your services in a way that engages ideal clients, how to make offers. Fear of sales or outright aversion to sales, meaning you have some kind of like, I don't like sales. I think they're like, used car. I don't want to be pushy, right? Low self-worth program running in your head. I can't charge that much. Who am I? Not owning your value, don't know how to handle sales objections for fear of sounding pushy, no idea how to market yourself authentically, or maybe you're working too hard but don't have enough clients, right? That whole, I got to get ready, I got to have all the brochures and the business cards and the website, but no money coming in. Or have you been selling, $100, $200 things, and you're just working really hard and your income's kind of at a cap. Perfectionism, putting things off until everything looks good, giving yourself, those 10,000 other steps. Or, maybe you do ask God, Spirit, Universe for a sign and it shows up and you're like, well, I invested once before and it didn't work out for me. I made mistakes. So I'm going to, kind of gun shy on that. So is any of this sounding familiar? Just comment here in the chat box so I know you guys are still with me. And while you're doing that, I'll share a story with you. Carla's like, yes, I know all those fears. Ashley, yes, it's good. Okay. Thanks, guys. Andrew's like, you're so funny. Hopefully, yeah, you guys are gonna have lots of fun with me. So I'm very just in the moment here. One of my clients, Gaia, she got really clear about her offer and just, put it out there and generated her first $6,000 client within literally 24 hours. And then she went on to make over $20,000 in income her very first month. She wanted to do a law of attraction cruise, which she did in Singapore, and it was a huge success. So oftentimes, it's the fear, right? The fear is really the number one reason that prevents you from getting out there and making offers. And if we even go beyond the fear, and this is another writer downer, the number one thing that holds entrepreneurs back from just, being a proclaimed expert making offers, being visible, is the need of approval from other people. So needing approval from everyone else, right? You need their approval to be an expert. You're waiting for somebody else to tell you that it's good enough. You're waiting, for some outer exterior force to let you know that it's the right time. True. And that's the number one block. So when you need approval from other people, from the exterior, from your husband, sister, daughter, mother, outside, from clients, when you're looking for approval outside yourself, you will never get it. That's not where it comes from. So I want everyone to just raise your right hand, go like this. In your right hand, you have a magic wand. And I'm going to take a sip of magic yummy water. So in your right hand, you have a magic wand. I want you to hold it up like this, and I want you to bop yourself on the head, poof, and say, you're ready, or, I'm good enough, or boom, I give you permission, because that's really all it takes. And I share with you this funny little thing, because this is what I do in my, live workshop talks is, really you just have to give yourself permission to be ready, to be good enough, to be an expert. There's nothing else outside of you that's going to give you that feeling of approval that you need. You decide. You're the one who gives it to you. And I'll share with you a story. You might have all heard of this guy, John Gray, who wrote the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Fantastic man. And I heard him speak at an event, and he was sharing how he got involved in his body of work. And way back in the day, he was this transcendental meditation teacher, and he followed the Maharishi. He was this 20-year-old kind of geeky guy, and he invested everything he had to follow the Maharishi to, I think, LA, or travel across the coast. And he was going to go, and he wanted to become, working with him, studying with him, following him, and renounce his life. And he showed up at this event without a ticket, and he thought, well, Maharishi's a cool guy, I'm sure he'll understand. He'll let me in. I just invested everything, my last penny. I'm 20 years old. And he shows up at this church event, and the bouncers are like, sorry, dude, you need a ticket, right? So dejected, he goes into the parking lot to kind of sulk about it, and there he sees the Maharishi, this whole kind of, entourage about to enter into this church or whatever it was, this building. And so he decides, you know what, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna like, add myself to the group. And sure enough, he walks right in with them, sits on stage with them. And, I think 2 days later or something was asked to be his right-hand man, kind of his assistant to the Maharishi. And so, there's nothing out there waiting for you, to proclaim yourself. You just have to do it, give yourself permission. You're an expert now. You're ready. You have what it takes. Now just go do it, right? And John Gray, that's how he started his career. He became, the personal assistant of the Maharishi, and then out of that developed his career. So some of you might think, this is really silly. And I know you want to get into like the structures and the systems and this and this and this, but mindset is really the first everyone needs to start with. Mindset is number one. It's the fertile ground with which you're able to plant seeds in your mind. And most people are having trouble in their business, not because they're not smart, not because they're unqualified, not because they're not experts, but because of fear. And it's that demon in the mind, the self-doubt, the worry, the fear that actually rips you out of that divine connection and flow with which the next, inspired idea, inspiration, the next, idea really comes from. And most people, they might be so busy in their minds that they don't even hear the idea, or they're so gripped with fear that they have the idea and they're like, oh, I can't do it, I can't do it. So really mindset is, hey, how do you take your power back from that crazy little devil, the ego or the mind, that's trying to rip you always away and protect you using fear? And it's so powerful, it's so consistent, it's so unnerving, unwavering, that we actually believe we are it, and we are not. So a lot of my teaching is about mindset. It's the fertile ground that you can then start placing seeds to grow and blossom. That's why most people have trouble with the law of attraction, because they're not actually using their mind. They're identifying with the fear and the anxiety, and that then becomes their reality. So the number one thing you must do if you want to create a life you love, and that includes being able to show up and take action in your business, right, is not let the fear, not let all that stop you. So you must command the mind. You must command the mind. There was a study done by a man who said, the only time man really suffers is when he goes to the mind and asks a question versus commanding the mind. So you must command the mind. The mind is like a little dog. How many of you guys here, just share with me in the chat box, have seen that guy Cesar Millan? You guys ever watch him? Denise is saying, have the fear and do it anyways. Christine, there are only two things in life, love and fear. Love and the fear of losing it. Very interesting. Right. So how many of you guys have seen that dog, that guy, Cesar Millan, the dude there who, trains dogs? Well, what he does, right, he goes into this house, and the people say, he tells the people, your dog is crazy. The dog's peeing everywhere. He's rolling around. He's barking at the neighbors. He's, chasing the kids. And the people say, well, we know he's crazy. That's why we called you. And Caesar says, well, you're the one who's you're the reason why the dog is crazy. And he tells them, the dog's just a happy little snappy dog, wants to run around, play and laugh and chew and bite and, fart and do whatever it wants. It just wants to be a happy little dog. And what's happening here is you've given the power to run the house over to your dog. You've forfeited your mastery over the house as the dominion of the house master, and you've given it to the dog, and the dog can feel your anxiety and it's acting out. What you need to do is command the dog, be the boss of the dog, be the master. And he says, if you notice, if you look and find happy dogs, they always have very, commanding masters. When you command the dog, shh, sit, quiet, shh, the dog's happy, all right, because it knows what to do. It lets itself then go out and be a little happy, snappy dog. If you give the dog, dominion over the house, it's just a little dog, And most people are doing the exact same thing with their mind, right? You're identifying yourself as the mind. So the mind is actually a creative instrument. It has a reticular activating system, and what that does is it filters out of the 7 trillion bytes of information that are coming to it. It filters out, what to look for. So you need to command the mind. Hey, mind, we're going to get 10K this month. Hey, mind, we're moving to Hawaii. Hey, mind, shh, I love you, quiet. And this is the new command. You must command the mind. And not have the resistance, right? Not let that resistance, that ego, that pull you back into that. You must command the mind. So the only time you actually have a problem in life is when you've made a decision that your problem is bigger than you. This is a writer downer. The only time, this is how powerful we are as creators, that you have a problem is when you've made a decision that your problem is bigger than you and your problem is winning. You see, your power comes from your ability to decide. And we'll get into that in a little bit here. So I'm going to invite you into wherever you're at in your business. I don't know where you are. I don't know, what you're selling. I don't know if you, are just maybe in a job and you're thinking about, getting into a business, or you have a business and it's kind of killing you because you're working too hard. Wherever you're at, even in your personal life, could you make a decision right now by saying yes, that you are indeed bigger than these problems, that ego over there is not actually you, you're separate. You are this divine God, light, spirit channel, coming through. And through the power of decision, you can make a new decision. So can you take your power back by saying yes right now and make a decision that you are bigger than, these perceived problems? And can you say yes again and just decide, I'm the boss. I'm the boss. I'm the master. I'm the master of me. And just say that a few times to yourself and take a big, deep breath. And really come back into your power. Take your power back, right? Just kind of reel it back in, because you are the master here. And just check and see now if your goals feel a little bit more doable, just by that one simple exercise. Mindset, huge, huge, huge for success. Okay. So I'm going to share with you one principle here, and let me know, what you guys like as I'm going, or if you'd like any more. Can you say that again? Yeah, this is what I was saying. Just mark down in the webinar, at what point you hear this. So I talk about in my first book, sales as being a spiritual practice. And I want to jump into this right now because it's a really important principle to help you, especially if you've been gun shy away from sales, or if you've been feeling like sales there's a big X on it because you don't want to be one of these pushy salespeople. Okay, so for me, sales is really a spiritual practice. When I got started selling mops on stages, I had a lot of failure. I failed a lot every day. I would show up in a store, I would set up a stage, a 6x6 booth, and there would be racks around behind me with product, and then I would pick up the telephone. I would say, ladies and gentlemen, in 2 minutes, we're handing out free gifts, right? And sometimes nobody would show up. At other times, they would see the stage and they would run. At other times, the telephone wouldn't be working. So I had to become a problem solver. And, I was paid on commission, so no sales, no money, right? There's no kind of comfy buffer. And I would figure out, how this whole thing works. And I would take the time to figure it out and fail until I figured it out. And what I found out through that practice was that sales is really a spiritual practice, because there would be so much failure. And in your life too, in your business, there will be a lot of failure when you look at sales. People will reject you. They'll say no to you. You won't be convincing enough. You won't help them feel certain enough, and they won't hire you. And, to me, as long as you start making offers, if God has shown up in your life and said, hey, it's time for you to do this now, and you're like, I don't know how to do it. Oh my God. You just keep asking the questions, asking questions. Hey, how can I do this? Show me how to do that. Asking questions. It's amazing. It's so simple, but I'm telling you, I'm a Capricorn, I work with simple things. Ask that question and watch, and the answer will show up. And God will start sending you as soon as you start, proclaiming yourself as an expert, making offers. And I'll share with you here in the webinar some very specific ways to do that. You will start getting people. They'll start coming to you. Your clients will show up. And your job is to help them say yes to their own transformation. It actually has little to do with you. You're helping people say yes for whatever reason. Maybe you're like, 2 or 3 steps behind them. No, sorry, maybe they're like 2 or 3 steps behind you. Like, let's say, you've got an education, and let's say you're a weight loss coach, and, you've got like a grade 6 education in that. Well, these people that are coming to find you, they're in like kindergarten or grade 1 or grade 2. You don't have to be Tony Robbins to be an expert. Woo, some wind showing up here. That must be the truth. So, you don't have to be a Tony Robbins in order to be an expert and help inspire and transform people. You just have to be willing to show up and be where you're at and serve from there. You're good enough exactly as you are. And so, I see sales as a spiritual practice because it's always gonna, you're always forced to overcome that yourself, and really to just help people show up and say yes to that transformation. Maybe you're just helping them take 1 or 2 steps up, from where they are at. Maybe they're just 1 or 2 steps, behind you. And they just need that extra little cookie. So once you start making offers, God will send you people. You must make the first step. We have free will, so you must make the first step towards God. You must show up, say yes to it. You must invite it in, and then everything else happens. You see, most people are actually waiting for some external force to happen outside themselves. Again, to tell them it's the right time. You must decide. So sales for me is a spiritual practice because you're constantly, dealing with yourself and your own limitation and your self-worth. And you're really just inviting people in, to say yes to their own transformation. It's not about being pushy or salesy or any of that. It's really about helping people say yes. So we just covered, number one, the biggest problem that people have when making offers, the 3 biggest problems people have with making offers. Number one is they don't make it. And it's usually because of fear, self-doubt, worry, the mind, right? So we did a little mindset exercise here. And really to start looking at sales as a spiritual practice instead of this big aversion of, this used car slimy salesperson. Nothing happens until the sale is made. And in my idea, that's a really spiritual practice to help people show up and say yes to their own transformation. It has little to do with you. So number 2, biggest problem here that people have with making offers is that they're not clear about their message. They're not clear about their message, or their offers are kind of weak and fluffy. So I want to share with you a really simple formula that helped me when I first got started. And I see a lot of this online. People have these very fluffy, all these really sensual and yummy and flary words. Who cares? People get so caught up on that. I don't want to sound like everybody else. I want to be original. I got to find my niche. Guys, people, if you're a weight loss coach, you tell people I'm a weight loss coach. What are you? I'm a business coach. I'm a spiritual business coach. Don't make it more than 2 words. Just number one, tell people what the heck it is you do. I'm a weight loss coach. I'm a baby whisperer. Just tell people I'm a landscaper. I'm an artist. Tell people the first thing exactly what you are. That's number one. They just want to know what the heck it is you do. And when you come into, how do you message, how do you language yourself, keep this in mind. People want Tylenols versus vitamins. So your clients, when they come to find you, and they're up at night at 3 o'clock in the morning, searching the internet, looking for information, they're not looking for vitamins. They're looking for, I have a freaking toothache. I have a really big headache. I have a gaping wound in my arm. It's called, I'm 50 pounds overweight. I don't know where to find my clients next month. I can't sleep because, my husband or my wife is cheating on me, or whatever the heck it is, right? Those are their gaping wounds, and they need, a painkiller. They're not looking for your services as in, I might in 3 months, want to get results then. So your languaging has to be targeted around their pain points. What are they suffering with right now, in order to get their attention? And your message must actually connect with one of the 10 things that people buy. I see this as a huge mistake people make all the time. They're too airy, fairy, fluffy, and their message does not connect with one of these pain points. So write these down. These are the 10 things that people actually buy. They are, number 1, saving money. Number 2, making money. Number 3, saving time. Number 4, love. They buy health. They buy not making mistakes or avoiding mistakes. And they buy cleanliness. And I think there's 3 other things in that list, but those are the top 5. Saving money, making money, saving time, love, health, not, avoiding mistakes, not making them, and cleanliness. Go figure. So, in my workshops, I ask my clients to get clear about, what are the 3 biggest problems that you help your clients solve? What do they come to you saying? And if you don't really know yet, maybe look at yourself 3 to 5 years ago. What were the, biggest problems that you've overcome? And number The second thing is, what are the three major benefits that people get once they solve those problems? These are really great pieces and keys and wording and languaging to have in your overall branding and your marketing and your messaging. So here's a simple formula to help people with. I help people go from blank to blank. If you're at a networking event, you'd say, I help people go from frumpy to fabulous, and I'm a weight loss coach. Oh, this is so clear, doesn't have to be complicated, right? I go from people, I help, entrepreneurs go from broke to thriving, and I help them, put these systems in place. Or I help people that are overweight, go from overweight to slim, fit, and fabulous. And I'm a fitness instructor. So just that, very simple. And then you want to talk about your systems. People buy systems. People buy systems. Why? Because if somebody else, somebody else could follow a system and get results, that means they can too. So that's, some detail around messaging. And now we're going to talk about packaging, because this is another huge problem I see entrepreneurs making, is they don't have any offers, or they're just selling, one kind of a one-time coaching offer to people. It's a 1-hour session, and it's terrible because you work so hard and you only make a little bit of money, and you're actually robbing people of the transformation. You should have much bigger packages, and you should have 3 packages: a low, a medium, and a high, or a PhD program. Some people want to go from A to C with you, and like A, B, C, D, right, in the alphabet. Some people want to go from, M to R with you. Some people want to go from A to Z. So give people the options: a low, medium, and a high kind of program offering. Why? Because people are going to benefit from working with you long term. I have never in my life, to this day, I've been doing this for about maybe 6 years, seen anybody get great results by just, one session. It doesn't happen. You're actually robbing your clients by not enrolling them in higher and longer programs with you. So have 3 programs, and then you want to, price these out. Charge more, give more. I'm in the camp of, charge a premium price, attract premium clients, and deliver a premium service. So, do the math. You have maybe a 2K program, a 5K program, and a 12K program. So if your goal is to generate 10K in the next 30 days, it's really simple. How many sales do I need to get to 10K? Well, if you're selling a 2K program, you need 5. You need 5 sales. If you're selling the 5K program, you need 2 of those, or just 1 of the 12K sales. So that makes it really simple. I'm either going to make 5 sales at $2,000 this month, or 2 sales at $5,000, or 1 sale at 12, and I'm going to hit my goal. So then you do the math, right? Listen, guys, I'm simple because it's really simple, okay? But here's the deal. Most people don't have their numbers figured out. They don't want to look at that, right? Again, your ego wants you to focus on all the problems and what you can't do, so you don't actually take any action over what's going to generate results. So know your numbers. How many sales calls do you need to have in order to generate 5 yeses, or 2 yeses, or 1 yes in the bigger program? How visible do you need to get? How many events do you need to go to? So I have a case study here of one of my clients, Jessica, and she repackaged her program. She came to see me, and she wasn't sure what she was going to offer, this program or this program. We surveyed her list, and they wanted to learn podcasting with her, and she repackaged herself, and she started promoting it, and I think she did between $12,000 or $15,000 that month, and hit her target. So she generated leads using a webinar, and really up-leveled her business. So the second biggest mistake entrepreneurs make is not having a clear message, not having clear packages. All right, it's airy-fairy and it's fluffy, and I just share with you here how to avoid that. So I'm just gonna take a sip of water. Everyone's saying, yep. And Bev is like, I'm the boss of me. There's a little bit of a delay here with the webinar and the chat, so I'm just making sure everyone can hear me. Okay, awesome. Wow, we've got tons of people in the chat. Hi, everyone. So nice to have you all here. So happy you're here live. Okay, if you have any questions, again, please post them here in the chat. We're going to get to them at the end. I see some questions popping up, and they're great. As we go along, please, post them in there. So this is the last of the 3 biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make with their offers and how to avoid them. Number 3 is people actually put in, and you might, this might be you. So I'm totally calling you out if it is. You put prices on your website. right? Big boo, do not do that, especially if you're a coach and you're selling a service. Why? Because I get this question all the time. People will, they will judge you based on your price versus what the cost is of them not solving the problem. So until you have a sales conversation that really focuses your clients on, what's really the cost here? What's it really going to cost you in 3 to 5 years of you not solving this problem? Again, people, when they have a big gaping wound, trust me, they want to do something about it. That's why you're languaging. And so it all starts from a real foundation of like understanding the language of what you're selling and you're offering, and everything kind of builds from there. That's what I teach my clients. So, if you put prices on a sales page, then people aren't going to hire you because they've instantly made a decision based on price versus on the value of what it means really to them to have this thing or to solve their problem. So people are really buying because of fear of loss more than greed. We're getting into like the mechanics of making offers here, but never put prices on your website. Or never, try and sell like a $5,000 coaching program after you do a 1 hour workshop or something. People don't see the value in that. It's not really, they can't really do that. Why? Because people have a lot of objections to that kind of price point. So I'll share with you, how to get a yes to something like that. And, if you're having any problems in these 3 areas that we spoke about, number 1, not making offers due to mindset or fear. Number 2, not understanding the structure of how to make offers or talk about your service. Or number 3, how to convert conversations into cash flows, because you don't have a sales attraction system. And a sales attraction system is something that takes ideal leads through a process with you, and it weeds out the bad ones, right? You don't want to be doing business with people that aren't an ideal fit, because it's going to hurt your confidence. They're not going to get results, and you're not going to get, you're not going to feel good either. So you really want to work with a specific kind of person. And a sales attraction system weeds out the wrong ones, the broke ones, the ones that aren't ready. I call them unripe guavas, right? To me, client attraction is like picking guavas, right? You have a beautiful guava tree. You have these ripe, you ever had a guava? They're like these delicious, God, you just want to like crack it open, like get guavas all over your face. But if you try and eat a green guava, it doesn't taste so good. It's pretty sour and gnarly. And, clients are like that. Some people, they're just never going to be a right fit for you. You could leave them in a paper bag on the counter for 5 days. They ain't never going to ripen. That is, some of them are moldy, nasty, got bugs in them. So there's some people that are just not a right fit for you. And a sales attraction system weeds those out and just, sets you up to have ripe, delicious, yummy guavas, people that are really fun and awesome to work with. And that's what you really want a sales attraction system for, where you filter out your leads and deliver you the right ones. So if you don't have a sales attraction system in place in your business, it's a very dangerous place to be in. Number 1, because that means you're winging it without a system for generating leads and turning them into paying clients. You're winging it every month to do your sales calls, and that creates a lot of stress and anxiety, and it hurts your confidence, right? If you don't have a system for getting leads into sales, every time someone says no, bam, it's another hit to your confidence. So really important if you want to be an expert to nail that. And we cover this in depth in my 10K and 30-day program. So you must have a sales attraction system. And this is what I do. I really help my clients with, understanding their language, putting their offers together, and then getting them out into market. So I have a case study here with Jeannie, who runs a wellness center here on the island, and she got really clear in her offers. We did some inner work, and she just filled a recent retreat of hers with 12 people. She has won a client in her first mega PhD kind of program that she created for several $1,000s. Super stoked and excited. And this is what can happen when you have the system. So I want to share with you, I want to go in depth a little bit more on how you can generate leads. Really important. So here are my 2 proven methods for generating ideal leads and converting conversations into cash flow. Number 1, host a workshop or a speaking event. Speak at a local networking chapter. Speak, right? Be visible and speak. Host a small workshop. I built my first 100K in my coaching consulting business by doing these small little mini workshops in my yoga teacher's basement in yoga studios. Just a plug here. We're all good. Hold on a second. I want to make sure I plug my computer in. So small little events, right? Hosting a workshop or a speaking event at a chapter. And what you want to do is have a 2.5-hour talk, give a workshop talk, and then make an offer at the end. And the offer you want to make is either a free, hey, sign up to have a free consultation with me, or a $97 breakthrough session. This is what I still do this in my business. And you give them a little bit of coaching, and you have a sales conversation with you into your higher end programs, because people aren't going to get everything in all of you in 1 hour. They're not, but it's a low barrier to entry. It's a low ticket to entry into who you are. They get to kind of taste test you a bit. So it's, inviting people to, hey, come and watch my workshop, it's $20 or it's $40. And then at the end of the workshop, you sell them, a $97 breakthrough strategy session with you. They get a bit of coaching, and then you also have a sales call with you. So it's a great way to generate leads. It helps you get visible, practice your message, and also generate, leads to have sales calls with. Best way, hands down. Why? Because you're visible. It's the easiest way to do it. Second method is another event-based marketing technique would be something like this. Something on social media, something, using social media to generate leads, to do a webinar. In the past we did teleseminars. I've kind of done everything. I've launched 2 books. I do Facebook ads. I run webinars, teleseminars. I coach, speak, mentor, internationally. I have a team of maybe I think 5 or 6 people now. I have virtual assistants. I got web dudes. I got marketing dudes. I got a writing coach. I kind of do everything, right? Newsletters. So I've kind of tried everything, and what I've learned about all that is that people, you must have your marketing geared at making events. It's called event-based marketing. So make an event. This webinar is an event. A speaking, is an event, right? A workshop is an event. People come to events. So you must have event-based marketing, and you can do it online. So for example, what I posted on my Facebook page, I'll share this simple recipe with you, is, test it out. This is the other thing that you need to do. You need to throw some shit on a wall, sorry for the expression, and see if it sticks. You must become a mad scientist with your marketing and not let the fear take you out. Just keep testing and see what works. So great way to generate, if you have a good topic, you have something good that people want to learn about, is to post something on Facebook, for example, that you're going to host a webinar. And so what I'll share with you what I said. I said, I'm considering offering, and you want to write this down, I'm considering offering a one-time training where I'll reveal to you my system or my methods for how I went from frumpy to fabulous, right? From this problem, and I think I wrote down, you can go check on my Facebook page, I think I wrote down something like, from how I went to being stuck in a dead-end job that nearly killed me because it wasn't my passion, and that's the truth, to having a rock star income and living my dream in Hawaii and helping other people do the same thing. And if you're interested in this webinar, comment below with I'm interested, and that creates social proof. And I think it was like 90 people that, eventually on this thread that said, I want to learn about this. So that's a great way for you to test. Again, how it starts is, I'm considering offering a one-time training where I'll show you my methods or my system or my technique for how I went from this to that. And the more you can get into the problem, the better, because that's where your clients are. You must meet them there. That's another way. Host an event, host a Facebook, host a, a webinar like this. The other thing you can do, which I love, is, again, host these rants, I call them these video rants. So I've got here on my iPhone, right? So it's just blowing up with text and things. A video. I'm going to show you how to do this. It's so simple. You take your video and boom, you hold it out like this, and you boom, hit the record, and you start a little video rant about something. And at the end of this rant, like once I made a rant about my, how I own it, how to just show up and own, your talent, own whoever the heck you are. And I'm like 6'2" and I wear high heels, boom. People freak out. They're like, oh my God, you need to be taller. I'm like, does the Dalai Lama need to meditate more? Like, who cares? I love wearing heels, Own it, whatever you got. You got a great voice, you're a singer, freaking own it. That's that certainty and confidence that people buy from you. It is. It's not about how much you know, it's the certainty that you have. That is a writer downer. So I made a video rant about this, and I posted it to Facebook. There's a one click, boom, it goes up to Facebook. But at the end of that video rant, you have a call to action, right? Same with your webinar. You have a call to action. A call to action is, hey, let's set up a time to talk, or hey, I'm opening up space in my coaching program. go here, send me an email, whatever your call to action is. So I've actually given you 3 proven ways, not 2, but 3 proven ways that you can start generating leads. So I want to just check in with everyone and see. Lynn's saying, I love the fruity reference to clients. Awesome. Okay. Got some great questions coming here too, guys. Awesome sauce. So last little tip I want to share with you is this one mindset shift that will literally explode your results and your ability to take action, no matter how much fear, self-doubt, confusion, procrastination has been preventing you in the past. And it's this. I really want to share with you how life actually gets created, because I have sales calls with people all the time. Number one thing, number one objection people have is I don't have the money or the time. It's hands down, expect to get these objections. People will always have these objections because you're dealing with people's egos. You're not actually dealing with people. It's true. Most people have, to some extent, 60, 50, 100%, enmeshed with their mind, and they're not really, the full capacity of their divine being. They're talking to you from a very limited mindset, fear-based mindset, and it's not who they are. So this is a very powerful theory. It's not just a theory, it's a recipe really for success that I've been living my whole life. When I was 20 years old, I went to live in Asia. And, I pranced around Japan. I taught English there, and then I grabbed a knapsack and blasted around Southeast Asia. I went from the northern part of Vietnam to the whole north, all the way down the coast into Cambodia for a couple of weeks, and boom, landed in Thailand, where I lived in this little beach hut bungalow for like 5 months with no electricity. It was like $4 a night. Did yoga before breakfast every morning with this guy that looked like Osama bin Laden. So I'm like a big gypsy traveler. It's in my blood. I need freedom. I need to travel. I need to move. And what was the point of all that? Well, the point of all that was this, people think that, when I have the money, I will do this thing, or when the kids go off to school, I'll have more time, or when I lose the weight, I'll attract a boyfriend. But life doesn't happen that way. Life happens like this. You make a decision. And the word in Latin to decide means to cut away from. In my mind, it means to kill off all other opportunities, to decide. And then from that decision, that's where your power is. Your power is in your ability to decide, I'm doing this. Hey, mind, shh, quiet. This is what I'm doing, right? And then that's you commanding the mind. You make the decision. And then the second part is, so step number 1 is decide, right? Step number 2 is you commit to it. So the commitment is very important. The commitment is, buy the plane ticket, hire the mentor, get the coaching program, buy the book, go to the bank. What's the next step that puts you all into the game? You must be all in. You must make a commitment. Commitment is like the magic sauce. And I used to avoid commitment like the freaking plague. Let me tell you another story. I remember once my first mentor that I hired, all right, it was $8,000, and I did not have the money. I was driving, I was making like $1,000 a day in the mop job. I couldn't even commit to a car payment. That's how crazy I was about traveling. So I drove this shitbox minivan, and it was this, it was a great minivan. I had like a camper trailer blasted across Canada. Anyways, this minivan, I would buy, these aluminum tape, and I would spray paint it. It was so rusty, but I was paying this mentor like $1,500 a month to coach with her. Didn't know if I even had enough money the next month to like afford the coaching. This is years ago. And I thought, if I share this with my friends or family, they would think I'm insane, because I'm spending more money on freaking coaching than I am on my rent, but I was investing in a way out of my problem. And that really, that felt right for me, because I could not live like this anymore. And what was going to happen? Well, the worst thing that could happen is I go back to my job, but not having a way out, that was real, stressful for me. So I made a commitment. You make a commitment. So what's the commitment? Going to get the car, going to the dealership, commit, invest. And what happens when you do that is you send like a signal out to God, universe, source. And it's like, ding, 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 ding. Give this person everything she needs, all the clients, all the people, all the opportunities. Then they show up because you've decided and you've committed. And that's the magic recipe for step number 3, the expansion to happen. The expansion to happen. That's when everything comes in. I have tested this out my entire life. It works. I teach this to my clients. So the next time you want to get something, you must make a decision Don't let the mind, oh, when I have the money, oh, when it's the right time, oh, when I'm, no, shh, quiet. This is what we're deciding. Here's my commitment. And then you watch, you show up and you watch the expansion happens, right? And this really is about also giving yourself the space, you know, to learn this. This is, you know, sales is also it's a learned talent, right? It's like riding a bicycle. You must, I see this all the time in my groups. You know, people are so hard on themselves. They're so hard on themselves, guys. You're learning. It's like riding a bicycle or having sex. Did you enjoy sex for the first time? Like, really? Really? You know, it's probably painful, or, you know, you're kind of awkward, or like, oh my God, what am I doing here, right? But afterwards, after you've done it a few times, you're like, woo, you know, look, no hands driving down the street, or, you know, it's like second nature. You don't even think about it. The same thing with sales. Gives yourself that space to practice on the way to getting it right. All right. So I'm going to share with you another case study. Nicole did that. She didn't make 10K her first month. She made $9,820. And I didn't even know that. She didn't tell me. She actually sent me a referral to one of her friends. And in the email, she said, no, I didn't make 10K, but I made 9,980, something like that. It was like so close, and she wasn't upset. And she had been, you know, procrastinating, not wanting to commit to it, you know, saying I'll do it later in 5 months. And I called bullshit on her. I'm like, you know, really, this is bullshit. If you really want this, you know, commit. And it's not because I need your money. It's not because, you know, it's for you. So you know, so you become a conscious creator, because once you do and you get these systems and you prove it to yourself, and nobody can take it away from you. You own this now. You know how to create change in your life. And I'm so passionate about sharing that with people. That leads to abundance. It leads to freedom. It leads to you fulfilling your purpose in life, to answer that call, that knock in your heart. And that's all God wants you to do. We have free will, so you take one step towards it. Anyways, so, you know, she had just complete revamp in her business. Nicole did, and she started having $8,000 weeks, you know, and now her and her husband are thinking of buying a house together, which is just amazing. So if God's been knocking on your heart, I am so encouraging you to say yes to it. It's the most amazing, magical adventure of your life. It's been the most magical adventure of my life. It continues to be so. I just had a retreat here in Kauai, and, you know, I showed up. I was just so blown away by, you know, never done this before. How does it work? Oh my God, just quiet, Vanessa. Just, you know, do it the next thing. And it was such a beautiful event, so beautiful to watch all these other people show up and do their best and give their best to create this unique experience. And I think it's all, you know, perfectly timed by the universe. And we just got to show up and say yes to what feels right, and not let the fear and the mindset take us out. So with that being said, you know, there's so much more here I want to share with you, but it's already, you know, we're already into an hour, and I want to keep myself on time. So I want to invite you guys, you know, to start implementing some of the things that we talked about here, because, you know, there's a ton that, you know, I've shared with you here tonight, from, you know, how to overcome, you know, your fear around just taking action, making offers, how to structure offers, how to structure your message, structure your packages. I've shared with you 3 ways to actually start generating leads right now. As soon as you get off this webinar, you can start, you can get out there, you can go at it, you can do it. I promise you guys, if you get into action with this within, oh my gosh, within the next year, if you look back on your life, you're going to say, holy smokes, what a completely different life and business I have. You can do that right now with what you've learned here on the webinar. So I just love to take a peek here, like another sip of water, and just take a check here on the chat to see what was your biggest aha takeaway, something that you're like, write her down, or with a star on it, or something you're going to implement. Was it like a theory? Was it a principle? Was it a structure that I shared? What was your biggest aha takeaway? I'm going to take a sip of water and just let that come in. And of course, I encourage you to write some more questions here, post some of these. And, you know, I'm going to take a sip of water. It's my thirsty. So I promise you guys, if you start implementing this, you will have amazing results. And if you're somebody who would like to start getting results tomorrow, next week, in the next 30 days, if you want to kick your income, your self-worth, you know, up a notch, and really, you know, have some help moving forward, implementing this in your business, I'm going to invite you to have a call with me, because I'm opening up space in my coaching program, my 10K in 30-day program, my coveted program. And I'm going to invite you to go to this link, go to takeyourpowerbacknow.com/10K ready. I'm going to repeat that. It's takeyourpowerbacknow.com/10K ready. And this is an invitation for you. If you're somebody who wants to get results in record time, you don't want to wait a year, you want, help with this. You've been farting around, maybe you've been struggling, maybe it's time for you to get a mentor. Most people that come and find me, they know that I'm the mentor for them. They always tell me, I just know it, I feel it in my heart. And I don't know, I really don't know who you are, where you are in your business. This is just an exploration, if you're a right fit, great. If you're not, great. But I'm really here. It's very clear for me to help people get, the clarity, the confidence, and the cash flow going, and it really helps them take their power back and thrive and create, freedom and an amazing, juicy, fun life, that you can have when you have a system in your business where you're not guessing every day. So, if that's something you want, if you want a time machine to shorten the learning curve for you, then I'm inviting you to apply. takeyourpowerbacknow.com/10K ready. It's a free call with me. I don't know how long I'm going to offer that in my calendar. It fills up very quickly. But do apply there. I will go ahead and be screening the applications myself personally. And this is for, space in my 10K and 30-day program. It's just, more of what you learned here today in an amazing group format. And it's kind of like a high-level mastermind. There's some other programs that I have as well. So, I'll share with you some of the testimonials that I have from clients. And, why I love teaching this way is, before I'll share that first. Whenever you want to learn something, you need the right structure, right? When you're learning to ride a bike, you need someone to hold the back of your seat while you're, riding up and down the driveway, and you need training wheels. So, it's the same thing when you're learning sales. This part of the systems building in your system, you need support. And actually, you need a place where you have, a place where you can learn and grow without judgment. So you can learn and grow, with like-minded people who are also going after the same things, who also really have a big, pull for being fulfilled. Some people that are not meant to be entrepreneurs, they're not like you. A lot of your friends and families are not like you. They're not. They're never going to be like you. And you kind of have to surround yourself with people who are going the same direction as you, right? I always take that. Don't hang out with chickens and turkeys if you want to be an eagle. Find eagles. So you need a space where you can grow, that has accountability, where you're not going to be judged, but that you do have support and accountability. Very important. That's what I offer my clients, and they get amazing results. So, here's something on the group. Marina says, aloha ladies, I have something really profound to share with you. I've been struggling making consistent cash flow in my coaching practice for years. Recently made a deep decision, followed through with a commitment to take action in my business. I posted this video a few days ago. Vanessa told me about the power of making videos. It now has over 2,200 views. It's got more now. And my inbox is full of messages every day with right clients whom I'm booking immediately into sales calls. I'm absolutely blown away by the results. Things are changing rapido for me. And I finally sold a high-ticket coaching program with ease. I've never had so much fun on sales calls before. I'm so grateful for Vanessa and the system she teaches. It works. So go out there, ladies, and be bold with your calls and take imperfect action perfectly. So thank you, Vanessa. You rock. So this is one of my clients in the group, and there's also Susanna. Susanna's another client that joined the group, and I'll read you her testimony off my site. And hold on a second. I'm going to go to it right here. Just give me one moment. While I'm doing that, I'm actually going to check in with you guys here on the webinar. Okay, Andrea says, no waiting for something external for me to tell me to move forward, to take action. Awesome. These are your big takeaways. Okay, good stuff. So Susanna was another client that came to see me. And let me just find her testimonial. She's another rock star here in Kauai. So many beautiful people here. And she says, I'm a soul evolution accelerator, and I've been leading personal transformational retreats for one for several years, and I hired Vanessa because my own spirit was calling me to serve at a higher and more personal level, but I didn't know how to do that. And before working with Vanessa, all the marketing methods that worked well in the past stopped working. And I needed an instant makeover that could up-level my sacred service and bring me consistent cash flow. So following Vanessa's simple sales attraction system and sales savvy guidance, within a week, I put an offer out to my tribe, booked 75 appointments, and have a waiting list of 50 people who want to talk with me about my services. Wow. Vanessa helped me break through my aversion to sales and helped me realize that sales is really helping people break through their fear of change. Vanessa's challenge is 10K in 30 days, but my results have been double that. Her sales training is called Skyrocket Your Confidence and Cash Flow, and that's exactly what she does. Hiring Vanessa was the very best thing I've done for my business. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. Just follow Vanessa's recipe and you're sure to get results you'll be happy with. Awesome. Lisa's also in the group. She says, my first 9K day. First off, Vanessa Simpkins, thanks for pushing me, guiding me, challenging me, because wow, did I get results today. So drum roll, I made my first 9,000 deal on my spiritual mentorship. Thank you, Vanessa, so much. I feel on top of the world. I'm just getting started. I'm honored to be I'm honored to be an example of the brilliant work you do. Celebrations, whoop, 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 bam. Lisa. So guys, if you're ready to get results like this, if you're ready to stop kind of fumbling and bumbling around in the dark, if you're ready to have, real accountability and real systems and implement those systems in your business to start generating leads consistently and turning them into cash flow, if you're looking for, structured ways for how to make offers, help on, how to speak, how to make offers, how to do webinars, all this kind of thing, I'm inviting you here to apply at takeyourpowerbacknow.com/10K ready. And we'll get on the phone together and we'll see, if what I have for you is a good fit. So with that being said, I am going to call out 2 people here on the call and honor my promise to you and give away 2 of those, what do you call those? Oh yes, I want to give you guys $2,000 in cash bonuses. So here's the deal. I have, hold on a second. Somebody's saying, I want to apply. Somebody sent me a private message. She says, I want to apply, but I'm kind of scared. I'm nervous. Okay. So this is great. I encourage you, even if you're scared and nervous, I encourage you to apply. Why? Because there's a wonderful quote that I love, and it says, if you're not scared, if you're not scared shitless, your dreams aren't big enough. Something like this. If you're not scared shitless, your dreams aren't big enough, or something like this. So your ego will know. It'll kick up some kind of resistance. It's usually in the form of fear. It's, we either buy into fear or we, decide and expand. So it's good if you're afraid. It's totally normal. This is, great question. I encourage you to apply anyhow. So what I want to share with you, I promised you at the beginning of the call that I was going to give away $2,000 of cash prizes. Totally am going to do that right now. And what I want to offer you, in my opinion, I think it's worth much more than $2,000, simply because I've seen this system implemented in people's businesses and it just explodes their results. So I have a program, it's called my Workshop Profit Secret System. My Workshop Profit Secret System. It's how I actually broke out of doing these mop shows and doing these live product demos and, transitioned into launching my coaching consulting business. And I had this kind of tweak in my brain. I was like, well, shit, Vanessa, what if you, instead of selling the mops, what if you went out, hold on a second, I'm gonna plug in this computer. It's amazing. Let's see how that works. Okay, I got like 9% on my computer. For some reason, it does not want to charge. So I'll make this quick. So Workshop Profit Secret System, I decided, what if I would just go and, make offers from the stage like I did on the mop stage and do that for coaching. Boom, and it worked. And I did my first workshop, made like $4,000. So I put all of this into a program. It's called my Workshop Profit Secret System, how to generate $100,000 in the first year coaching consulting by making these, mini workshops. So you have like how to do a flyer, you have an offer creation blueprint, word for word. I have an audio, I have a PDF. It's like you just pop in your own words in there and the offer is there for you. How to take credit cards. It's like everything down there, and I could sell it for, well over $1,000. I'm gonna give 2 of those away. The Workshop Profit Secret Systems I teach to my clients, so you have access to that. And I'm going to give Andrea here access and Carla as well. So congratulations, girls, you win. Also, so just send me, girls, your send me your email address, and I will make sure to get that out to you. So my computer is dying, guys. I would love to be here on the call and answer more questions. I'm going to take a few more. Somebody asked me, what's that URL again? So go to takeyourpowerbacknow.com/10K ready to apply for the 10K and 30-day program. I will be looking at that personally and screening applications. There is an application process. Carla says, how does the list of things people buy fit in if you have a spiritual business? I ask because even spiritual coaches usually have other aim in their biz, like sales or marketing or social media. But what if I don't have a tangible training like that and only want to focus on spiritual healing? Well, you know, most people don't buy spiritual healing. They buy, I need a new relationship, which is love. I need more money, or a new career, which is money, you know? So you really have to understand what it is you're actually selling. And people don't wake up in the middle of the night and say, I need spiritual healing. They say, I need to pay my bills. I need to fix this health problem, which is related to some emotional problem, which spiritual healing teaches. But, you know, what you really need is not spiritual healing. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to just pop my computer, walk with me, talk with me. It's going to be so funny. But I don't want this to end right now. And my computer's going to die if I don't. So watch this. I'm going to go like this very carefully. I'm going to turn this around like this. I'm going to plug it in right here so you guys see me. Because that plug is not working and I don't want this to end. Yes. Okay, we have juice. Sorry, guys. Movement. Great question. Okay, my email address. Does that make sense? Any other questions? I'm just going to go through here. Okay, everyone can hear me. Okay, awesome, guys. So those are the only questions that I'm really seeing here again. I have one question, another private question about the 10K group. What is it? So, you know, there's a variety of ways that people work with me. I love working in the 10K and 30-day Skyrocket Your Commons and Cash Flow Challenge. People get amazing results. There's a fantastic community that gets built and accountability, and people, I think, learn better. It's more fun to learn in a community where everyone challenges each other and supports each other. So I have that, and I also have retreats that I do, personal retreats. So again, if you're interested in taking your business and your confidence, your cash flow, your self-worth to the next level, if you're interested in stop letting the fear and the self-doubt and the procrastination really take you out of the game, then I'm inviting you to apply here at takeyourpowerbacknow.com/10K ready. Awesome, guys. I'm going to end this webinar. I send you so much love. Thank you for being on the call live and showing up and you know, really being a participant, showing up and saying yes to learn and to be here with me live. It's awesome. So I love you. I send you tons and tons of love and aloha here from Kauai. Give you a big kiss, and I'll see you real soon.